not exactly live because you guys will be hearing the recorded version of this. Hey guys, excuse the laughter, the unceremonious laughter at the beginning of the podcast because we guys had absolutely no idea what we were going to talk about today till Shravani came along and said, "Hey guys, we are supposed to be talking about music, and that's what we're going to talk about today."
So welcome
So
to episode 6. Uh, this
welcome,
is
man, welcome. And
welcome to
and
episode
and and
6.
one of us, at least one of us over here, is guilty of consuming something that might get you jailed in India these days. So you gotta know who. I don't know who it is, but yeah, somebody is, and that's why none of us can stop laughing. But welcome once again to the podcast Music Month. This is episode number 6. That's my friend Jatin. That's my very good friend Shravani.
So,
That's myself Akash, and we welcome you to yet another episode. And we're gonna be discussing some of the new artists, some of the new controversies in the music world, and some of the stuff that we might end up talking about, which we have not really planned for. So
yes.
what is up, Jatin? And what are you listening to?
So superb. Thank you for the introduction. So I think let's get the good news out of the way that the Music Mandir podcast is officially on Spotify now. We have
Oh,
5 episodes up.
Wow.
This will be the 6th one. It should be up I by tomorrow. I'm guessing. So if you guys are
Nice.
listening, you can now find us on Spotify as well. So yeah, that's the only good news we have.
well,
Uh,
where
and
is the fucking pandemic? I mean, that's
yeah, I
enough
think
good news.
I think for
Yeah.
a pandemic,
Pretty good
this
news
is
for the
amazing.
pandemic.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yet another podcast added to the list of increasing podcasts during the
Yeah,
pandemic.
yeah. In fact, the past week I saw a bunch of guys pissed off on Twitter, basically talking about how everyone wants to start a podcast since
Yeah,
people are sitting at
but
home.
but but in all but in all fairness, we've been meaning to start a podcast like for 2 years now. So at least in thought, we were like ahead of others.
Yeah,
Just in thought.
and sort of like in a way the pandemic was like a blessing in disguise for us to actually execute something like this, because we always were so lazy about wanting to start a podcast, but then
You mean busy?
no, I mean lazy, like
Lazy. I think
lazy.
lazy.
I think lazy is a fairer word for us than busy. but
Absolutely.
but yeah, let's get to it. So as Akash said, we have a couple of interesting things to discuss this week. So firstly, I wanted to start by basically talking about the plagiarizing issue between this rapper and the IPL. So this rapper is called Krishna, and he claims that the IPL theme song or promo song is like a complete rip-off from the IPL theme song, which brings us to a pretty complex topic of copyright and uh, uh, other concepts,
Artists
which
fighting against bigger organizations in this country.
yeah, it moves to concepts that we are not very clear on, but it's important to know that stuff like this happens all the time. Like maybe in commercial aspects, you take movies, you can take ads, jingles, and what it actually boils down to is probably uh, not having the infrastructure in place to kind of support the original content creators or content makers. So I think I'll just share my screen because I have a couple of tidbits to share here. So this was the article. Uh, Rapper Krishna,
Yeah.
IPL anthem plagiarizing controversy. So the anthem's composer is someone called Pranav Ajay Malpe. He actually went to the Music Composers Association of India, since
That's the
this.
thing.
Yeah, that is a thing.
That's the thing.
That is a thing. And apparently the Music Composers Association uh, has come out with a certificate saying that the song is not a plagiarization, uh, because all hip hop songs sound the same. So that that
Is
is the
that
hilarious.
something you can make a certificate on?
Yeah, that is the strange thing. So this is the actual rapper Krishna tweeting. This is scary. Just got word from the Music Composer Association has suggested that plagiarization of hip hop songs is permissible in their opinion
Is
because
permissible.
it's because all hip hop songs sound the same. Shabash. Tumhara khoon khoon, hamara khoon pani.
What? So they're
So
saying it is plagiarized, but it's okay to be plagiarized.
it is because according to them, the songs, like all hip hop songs, sound the same, is what they're
Who
saying.
made them authority to say that? What the
ऐसा ऐसा
hell?
कौन बोलता है मतलब म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया में लाइक गाइस आज एक प्रॉब्लम आया है कि एक लड़का है कृष्णा करके वो कुछ तो भी बनाता है वो उसका मतलब वो गली बॉय टाइप म्यूजिक कुछ तो भी करता है अभी वो बोल रहा है कि आईपीएल वाला सो if this thing is like okay so here's the funny bit right like that means the guy who got paid for this song to compose a song
Yeah.
why did he get paid so much by IPL if all hip hop music sounds the same anyway
I have no idea, man.
right
That's just a cover up, man.
it's like bro matlab sab kuch sounds same then might as well go and pick up a Kendrick Lamar song right I mean who
Yeah.
gives a shit
So
I
so
mean
that's what I'm
because
saying. Like probably the infrastructure is not set for people to hold people accountable.
But also the intention, I think. Not like,
Yeah, they're just not serious about it. So
yeah.
plagiarize, don't plagiarize. It uh, doesn't harm
but
anyone.
it's also crazy right because again I cannot help but have that thing playing out in my head like what happened in the office that day like Indian music directors association they're all sitting having tea around then a round table conference like discussing some great music director stuff I don't even know what a music director association would do and then they'll be
No,
like sir
so
ek ye
what?
गाना सुन के देखो
So what
and then
probably happens? What
ये
probably
गाना तो
happens?
सेम है ये गाना तो हिप हॉप है हिप हॉप तो सेम होता है now
सब
let's go
same
back to
होता है.
discussing what let's go discussing to what kal ho now you fuck I mean what is your deal
No, so I think it's not even that. So it's like when this composer, like, so he flicks this song from somewhere, right? And then he brings it into the table at the IPL office. Now, assuming in the IPL office, no one has any background of hip hop, right? They're all someone else.
they're all MBAs okay they're all fuck all clueless MBAs who think they're really smart okay I'm an MBA take it from me okay that's what most MBAs think मेरे को सब पता है oh fuck I just hit the lamp but that's really the reality of it all MBAs think they're artists okay they think they know better
No,
like
so
these are the
so
guys who would go and give advice to Kendrick Lamar कि तू एक काम कर अभी ना मार्केट के हिसाब से गाना बना तू नेक्स्ट गाना थोड़ा सा ऐसा मतलब तू डांडिया वाले जोन में लेके जाएगा ना एकदम चलेगा अभी ना नवरात्रि आने वाला है these are the MBAs of the world like they decide this shit
so he
Oh
probably takes it
man.
up to like the room, and then he plays this song, and all of them are like, "Yeah, this is amazing. This is brilliant." And then it just gets stamped, and it's finally like live. And then once it's live, someone's like, "Yo, this is So I don't know how it happens, but speaking of how like composers and artist companies manipulate stuff like this, I was shocked hearing that song by Vishal Dadlani and someone else, the Beyonce Sharma Jaigi song. Have you guys heard that? That was
I saw it
No.
trending on Twitter
What is
that's all
this?
freaking ridiculous, man. So there is a movie. It's got Ananya Pandey and some other guy, and there is a song which literally like the hook of the song is like the actress is like so fair and beautiful and all that, and when she dances, like Beyonce Sharma Jaigi, and it
What does
is.
that mean?
Are
Oh,
like
oh, I get
Beyonce
it.
would be like they're saying Ananya Pandey dancing is
Oh,
gonna
I get it
embarrass
now.
Beyonce, and it has connotations on being fair skinned and
skin
light
color
skinned
yeah
skin color.
Got it.
That's such an ugly thing to do. Like I just can't imagine like
So
how
cringy. Why would you
it's
do that?
exactly. And the fact that of all people they chose to go like head on head with Beyonce, right? Like
Don't.
Beyonce literally is queen of the world, right? Queen of the world. And you make a song in like in like a top tier Bollywood film. And I mean, I'm saying,
So
okay, you can
I
be really
The worst
stupid.
part is people are consuming it and it's trending.
No, the
but
best
you know
part. No, the best part was it had like massive like dislikes like online, right? So when
Oh,
it,
that's
yeah. So I like never go to these like these videos to like, but I specifically went there to like dislike, because
okay.
because that's like the bare minimum that you can do, right? And then of course there was like huge backlash by a lot of people, and everyone was like how does someone even write that? Okay, so even in even in a song, right, like there are so many levels. Someone has to write the lyrics. Okay, now I assume I understand someone writes bad lyrics. Okay, so then it comes to the composer. He's also reading it because he's adding the music. So even he can be like, yo, this feels weird. He also doesn't have a problem. Okay, that's another mistake. Then you have the singer. She's singing it or he's singing it. They're like, that's also
there
okay.
is a okay, so there is a good chance there's another way to look at it, right? uh, and like I agree with you, Jatin, because there is obviously like levels of assholery to this.
Yeah,
Absolutely, like cluelessness and assholery, right? Ki ye
yeah,
chale. There's another way. You have a movie coming out. The producer is like, I want a song for YouTube, which will go viral, which will go trending, and so the marketing team has to come in and tell me what this can be, right? And the marketing goes back and does some analysis of like the kind of search trends there are, and maybe like for that
Oh,
particular time of the year it's Beyonce that has been trending for the longest time. And most marketers don't really have a fucking clue about arts in
yeah,
general, so what they will go back is like a bunch of ideas, and one of them will be like Beyonce Sharma Jayegi, because it has like an international connect, it has like a very strong keyword, and Sharma Jayegi is like very desi connect, and eventually
Arey,
they'll like
but
pitch the idea in a way, sir हम ऐसा बनाएंगे, and the producer will get like all hard about this कि अरे fuck ऐसा बनाएंगे ना तो मतलब ये trend होएगा starting के first 2 दिन में, this will trend on number 2 or number 3 and will get us the maximum views, and because it gets us the maximum views, it will give us big awareness, and the movie will open big because of the
yeah,
song, right? I mean, roughly like that. And that's where they fucking lose the plot, and maybe the guy who's writing the lyrics is just now supposed to work on a brief from the marketing team. And
okay. So this is
yeah.
hilarious. Okay, so I just have an article in front of me
okay,
about this song. So it says after being heavily trolled for Beyonce, the name of the movie apparently is Khali Pili. Khali Pili changed the song Beyonce to Dunia Sharma Jayegi.
oh fuck.
The makers of Kali Pili have been
Uh,
constantly trolled over their song, which had Goria and Beyonce reference. And the best
Korea
part
has
is,
been like an Indian reference for like what, thousands of years,
forever.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Korea,
listen to this.
Churana
Listen to
Mera
this.
Jia.
So, Kali Pili director Makbul Khan had said the comparison with Beyonce is simply meant to be a street smart guy flattering a girl who's trying to impress that her dancing and performance is worth comparing to Beyonce, who we all see as the final word.
Maybe there's another way to look at it, which is probably also the right way to look at it, is the only people who sort of get outraged as this shit are those 1.5 to 3 million people on Twitter, man, or Indian Twitter, like who have nothing better to do than just fucking trend this shit. Apart from that, I know many cousins of mine and all, like from all over the country, who'll just listen to it and be like chill with it. "Ah, theek hai, Beyonce Sharma ke." They don't give a fuck. You think
Yeah, that's
Beyonce
true.
is like queen of
That's
the
true.
world, and I think she's Jay-Z's wife and whatever, and Jay-Z is like so meaningful and all. But like my cousin Aviral, who right now works in Bhopal, he gives two fucks about your Beyonce and your Jay-Z. I mean, to him, the
It's
song which
just a
came out, this
song.
it's a
Arey,
song. He doesn't give a shit.
but I'm
Which I
also
think
Yeah.
is why they make these songs.
probably,
Yeah.
but it's just disappointing is all, right? Like you would expect uh, things to be different, man. And then it's
And
like,
the thing is, who is you, right? Like you, I, and Shravani would probably expect MF Doom to perform in a like club in Bombay, but that's not happening. Like I'm saying, it's 100 crore people in this, 106 crore at this point, right? So it's like those, like Twitter on India. I've just realized there's 17 million people on Indian Twitter. I'm pretty sure like a good 7 million of them are like trolls or those fake
bots.
accounts just
Yeah.
who just go on bullying people, right, on everything. So the rest of the people, like, it's like what, 10 million people give a fuck? No, it doesn't matter to the guy who's selling a movie to crores of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Although
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
with you in principle.
Yeah. No,
it's
I
pretty
just
fuck all.
brought it up because like it was like it took me like 2 minutes to like wrap my head around it that like this actually happened. Like it's not like this went through some kind of approval process and people heard the song multiple times.
6-7 layers of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then people gave feedback and they made improvements and then they shot a song. They spent like crores. Then you have someone like Ananya Pandey and that Ishan Khattar guy who performed. And even like I'm thinking like at some point while you're dancing, right? You just like I'm just curious. Like someone would think, "Arey, why?
There is a market for this bad content
why,
everywhere. That's why they make it.
yeah,
And that's what I'm
probably.
saying, right? Like to a lot of people I know, it's not bad
Yeah.
content at all. It's not bad. It's
Exactly.
probably to
It's bad for a very small percentage of us. That's true.
exactly. And what are we like? We don't dictate the public taste at all.
Absolutely.
At all.
Absolutely.
Like we are not represented. Like the reason why we have this podcast is also because nobody is interested in music in general, and so we are like, but we are interested. So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, nobody really gives a fuck. It's whatever, man. It's
True.
not a sad or a happy state of affairs. It just is.
It's just
But
there,
imagine
yeah.
imagine an intern sitting in that room when somebody presented Beyonce Sharma जाएगी like fuck ये लोग के दिमाग में गोबर भरा है मेरे को मेरा 2 महीने का सैलरी लेके निकलने का है जैसे छुट्टे के लिए मेरे को सहन नहीं होता
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like or even that one person who like 6 months back when the song was being discussed basically stood up and said, "Guys, this is a bad idea," and like someone
Must be
and then,
fired or something.
yeah, and then someone said, "Listen, shut up," like
yeah
to intern
so you have
hai.
to understand
Like I know what the market wants, and they went ahead with that, and then now he's sitting somewhere being like, "मैं बताया था इन लोग, मैं बताया."
ये लोग को बोला था he's probably sitting in some जनता bar telling his best friends को पता है ये
Yeah.
छुट्टे लोग को मैं बोला था ये मत
Yeah,
करो
yeah,
ठीक है
exactly.
मेरा बात सुना नहीं वो डायरेक्टर वो प्रोड्यूसर बोलता है करेगा और मेरा बॉस भी बोलता करेगा तो मैं बोला ठीक है करेगा मुझे क्या गाना लगे कितना डिसलाइक मिला कितना पैसा डाला गाने में क्या किया so yeah it's one of those things.
So yeah, man, I went off topic, but I just remembered that because like I've never taken so much of like passionate effort to like go to YouTube, type
Go and
that.
dislike, no?
Yeah, I was so ashamed of typing, like Beyonce Sharma Jayegi, like on
It's
my
in your
search.
history forever now.
Even my Google like algorithm
Knows.
avatar in the backend was like, the fuck is he doing? Like, is he hacked or
5 मिनट
something?
पहले ये पर्पल हिट सुन रहा था
Exactly. But yeah, man, that was weird. What about you, Shravani?
man.
What have you been listening to?
I have been listening to a lot of music, but for some reason I'm at that point where most of it is not memorable anymore.
What do you mean?
But yeah, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of artists and bands. For some reason, there's a pattern that I recognize. It's good music, but for after a point, I think there's a pattern that my mind is just not memorizing some certain thing anymore. So,
Right.
but one very memorable sound, matlab music that I've been hearing is Mali's. I think you guys know her.
Malvika Manoj.
Such good. Yes,
Yeah.
I think
she is
she's
pretty
been yeah, and the music is very memorable and distinct. I think the sound is very distinct.
good. Right.
Beautiful music. I find it very relatable and soothing, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of insightful kind of lyrics first approach, of course, but very insightful and
Right.
like introspective kind of music. So I love that shit. So I've been listening to that forever.
Yeah. No,
And-
she is kind of pretty famous now because
Yeah.
she also gets listed on the Spotify radar and things like that. Like
Yes,
they keep popping up. They kind of promote these new artists along with Mali.
Upcoming,
There are a lot of other artists who now Spotify, especially Spotify India, is putting them on charts and playlists, which is great. So for those who don't know, just quickly give a know-how on. This is Malvika Manoj, singer-songwriter,
Yes.
pop artist. I think she's from Chennai. But
She is. And the art is also pretty good. Very good art on the albums.
Yeah, actually
sorry,
her,
covers. Very good.
Yeah, she So her latest song was the song called Absolute, I think.
Absolute, yeah.
Yeah, and
That
she
released about a month ago, I think.
and she put out
Very
like
good.
a really cool music. So this was
That's
the
that,
album art.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is
Very, very
insane.
cool.
pretty dope. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Good
yeah,
stuff.
guys, we'll also link it in the description, and then you can also follow Mali and
She's
And one
also a
of
give her
her,
fantastic
some love.
person.
yeah,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah,
met
yeah,
her.
yeah. Yeah, like I think more than once, but I do remember one particular first time when I actually went and saw her. It was, I think, Bonobo Bandra.
Okay.
So the friend, and he was also a friend of hers. I think he's a sound engineer, and I told her I'm listening to her for the first time. She's like, I hope you really enjoy the music today.
Mm.
I hope it's worth your time. And I was like, who says that? So then she obviously went up. Like, yeah, like you have to be really a nice person to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she went up and performed, and it was really good, really, really good. She performed with Tejas Menon, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
So
very cool singer songwriter artist.
yes, so he was
Yeah.
doing the guitars, if I'm not mistaken, that
Okay.
evening.
Cool. Cool. So yeah, what anything other than Mali you've been listening to?
Yeah, yeah. So there's these guys have been around for a while, I think. A lot of people might know them. They're Thermal and a Quarter.
Oh
But I
yeah.
just discovered them,
Yeah.
and what music, man. It's just,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I'm
They're
late to the party, but very good stuff.
oh
Amazing
yeah.
stuff. They released a new album, World Gone Mad, I think, which is so
Okay.
appropriate right now.
Yeah.
Uh, it's pretty like angry and like
It's
furious
kind
kind
of
of a
like
thing.
in your face, right? Like the
Yeah, it
so
is. It
it's
is.
all rock and roll and it's blues and
Yes.
uh, I think
Yes.
Bruce Lee Money is
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
is the front
Yeah.
man. And I mean Thermal and a Quarter, I mean they have inspired so many
I'm
bands
sure.
out of Bangalore and even like across India, that
Yeah.
there are very few bands that you ask them which are the bands that have inspired you or you like, and that you can guarantee Thermal and a Quarter will be like one of them listed there. They're such a big
So
deal
so
in like
good.
the
Yeah.
music scene in India. Yeah, it's damn cool. I haven't heard the new album actually. I need to listen to it.
Yeah, it's pretty unique in some ways to their other songs.
Okay.
So it's kind of angry, but it's also hopeful. So some of the songs in the album are a different mood. It's pretty
Right.
interesting, like a
Right.
whole story in the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Very very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Not bad. Not bad. Thermal and a Quarter is definitely a chill band.
Yeah. And one of my favorites is actually Bangalore Blues, a song that's
Ah,
not very recent, I think, but I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good. I love that one.
They have a lot of like catchy pop rock
Yeah, they do.
tracks.
They do. It is very memorable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember seeing them live also. Like, I mean, they used to be so frequent in like the music circuit. They'd be constantly playing everywhere.
Hmm.
I'm sure I've seen them in Bangalore at least once, and then in Bombay at least twice. What about you, Akash?
Yeah.
You catch them live anywhere?
I have seen them live a couple of times in Bombay itself,
Yeah.
and I thought I had seen them live more than twice, but then you told me that that was not Thermal and the Quarter when we were listening to the Slash concert, right? So it was
Yeah.
not them. Yeah, yeah. So I've seen them live only twice, I think, at this point. But great memories, man. Great memories. Talking about Thermal and a Quarter and the bands who used to be frequent performers, we do have another of those vintage fantastic bands, which has just sort of come back into the forefront very recently. That is Superfuzz, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who've just released
Uh,
their new album.
oh yeah. Super
Who are
Fuzz
about to release their new album. Who
who
actually
are
put out their yeah.
who are going to. So let me just let me pull them up. Super Fuzz
Shit, man.
is
Superfuzz is like the shiz, man.
yeah, they're a rock and roll trio.
Punk.
Started long back with like punk, but yeah, they're from Delhi, and they're amazing. So if anyone hasn't heard Super Fuzz, so Inner City Waster was the name of the album, and for the longest time their album was like only available on a couple of these websites, but they recently put it up on your streaming platforms. So now Superfast music is like available. So I remember this song called School, right, which was like one of my favorite.
It's one of the coolest solos of
Yeah,
all time, right?
it's
Like
an
what a solo, man.
and the funny part is like these songs are like at least like 10 years old now, like 7 years or what. There should be like a release
You guys
date
have
somewhere.
like school memories with this.
Yeah,
or
it's like
something.
released
Yeah,
in
yeah.
like November 2014, right?
Wow.
So it's like a
But
good
no,
5-6 years.
school is older than that. School is older than that, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I remember releasing school when I actually bought an iPod, which was in 2007.
Okay.
Oh.
So which is 2007, 2008, right? That's when I mean, I knew the song and the solo by heart then.
Yeah.
So they've been around for a while, like for real. And
It's
I'm
like
pretty sure
20 years
anybody
ago. They were around
almost
20 years ago. Wow.
they were.
Probably
I think they were around when Channel V launched Channel V Launchpad.
yeah, Channel V
When
Launchpad, yeah. So
yeah, so I think anybody.
the thing with these bands were like even before they would put their music up online, like professionally, there would be like a lot of demos of theirs like floating around, like through someone somewhere would have a recording, either done on a phone or an amateur recording. So even I remember listening
Or
to
they'll be
these
playing them
songs.
live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember listening to like these songs, like in a very raw kind of manner, and then listening to it
Wow.
now when it's like fully like nicely done, it's just such a thrill. Similar thing happened with this band, Mumbai based band called Rosemary, which was fronted by like my good friends from school.
Dude,
And
Rosemary, I saw them live in so many pubs. They were your friends?
yeah.
Fuck.
Achint Thakkar, who then went on to put out Achint and the Khan brothers, who I'm such a huge fan of. So he was actually part of like Rosemary, like back in the day. And so even their music was something which I'd heard in like school and college, like maybe like 2013, 14. And then now 3 months back, they finally put it up on Spotify. So it's just like a crazy thrill to like listen to those songs again.
Dude. Unless
So-
I'm really mistaken, I saw Rosemary in 2008 in one of these pubs. It was in Andheri West, actually. And
Yeah.
it's like such a vivid feeling. There were two bands which just blew me away. I think Rosemary was one of them, unless I'm really mistaken, which I don't think I am. These guys were all participating for the finals of IROC 2018.
Dude, I was there.
Yeah. Oh, you were there at the same pub,
Yeah.
were you?
Yeah.
Oh, that is
This
insane. I should have hung out. And they performed, and then Black performed, Blacklisted, and all these songs with the right,
That
Sean
was it.
Pereira and everybody.
That was it.
Fuck.
So
That
How were
was
you
a
guys
big-
in a pub in 2008? That seems
So-
such a long time ago.
so these were actual like they were pubs, but they would have these sessions with these bands, right? And
Yeah.
I don't remember drinking. I mean, like we weren't
No,
there
of course
drinking,
not.
but we would be there just for
For
you
the
know,
music.
for the music. And then of course
Yeah.
there used to be scenes outside where you're probably having a beer or something. But I remember it was such like I remember Rosemary once was playing like a gig in Borivali, like some college, and we went there for the college festival. And I remember after they performed, like one of them got into the car and we were like, dude, you want to hang out? They're like, no, I have an exam tomorrow. And like it was like his college, it was like his college tests or something. But it was like that. Like these guys would be performing, and
Yeah.
so Rosemary
So
was
cool.
like one of them, and then Superfuzz was a very similar vibe, almost
But
the same
Superfuzz is
time.
from Delhi, right?
Yeah, Superfuzz is from Delhi, and so it's like it's really exciting. So if you haven't checked out, I think Rosemary and Superfuzz both are part of like the Musicmandir playlist, which we will link, and surely you need to go and check these bands out because. I mean, Rosemary is not active now, but Superfuzz will be coming up with a new album. But there's
For
like
the
just
for the
some-
yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
great
also
music.
know for a fact that even Black is gonna come out with a new album,
wow.
which they're in the process of. I actually messaged the lead singer on LinkedIn the other day. I was like, hey man, like long time, big fan of yours, like one of my first favorite rock bands from Bombay.
Yeah,
And Sean, right? And
Yeah,
he was
Sean
kind enough to
Pereira.
respond. Yeah. So same gig, right? Like same IROC. That's when I saw them for the
yeah.
first time. I was
So
fucking blown
it's-
away.
it's kind of cool. Like I also think like back then.
Carpenters Don't Fuck was the first song I heard back then.
No,
And then there was Blacklisted. Yeah.
so another thing was like back then for them to even put out like a well produced mastered track would be actually kind of expensive. And I don't know, like, you know, when you're 15, 16, 18 to, you know, get budgets to spend 5, 10K on like a song which you have no idea. But now that process has also been democratized so much where you can just,
Yeah.
you know, so I think people are finding more avenues to at least put out release music. And then knowing that you have such fans that like fondly remember you from like 8 years, 10 years back, I think that is like another kick altogether. So it's I was just so happy to listen to Super Fuzz, and before that I was so happy to listen to Rosemary, because you were like, shit, like those were the days, man. Like, you know, we were literally there and this music was getting made. So that's cool.
That is so cool, guys.
That is,
That is
and
so cool.
That was
you should
mad,
actually
yeah,
listen. You should listen to these tracks also. They're amazing.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. We'll link it up also. What's next? So I also wanted to bring up this electronic DJ producer artist. He's called Panther, uh, and he just released a bunch of tracks for his EP. Let me just pull it up. So I think Rolling Stones like covered him. So hip hop artist Panther drops debut introspective EP. So what I really liked about this was it had some nice vibes. So you know, there's Hindi lyrics, there's a good amount of like hip hop beats, and uh, it just sounds fresh. So he's Lucknow based, and it's pretty well produced is what I enjoyed. The songs were pretty crisp and it had a nice fresh vibe to it, right? Like not something that you listen very often. It doesn't sound very familiar. It was pretty enjoyable. So definitely give this a listen also if you like hip hop and if you like Hindi rap. So he has 5 tracks listed here.
Why? I like the name. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. It's called Quab. Yeah, Y is the name of the EP,
Yeah.
and it's pretty good. It's a really nice sounding album and EP. So definitely check it out. We'll link it. Panther, that was cool. Anything else, Akash, that you've been listening to?
Not much, man. This week has been crazy, man.
This week's
Numbers that I've
been
been listening to, apart from the usual suspects, which I go back to, which is like, you know, comfort music for me. So
like
the
what?
old stuff that I like, Massive Attack.
Massive Attack, yeah,
Uh,
of course.
yeah, like, you know, like the stuff that I really like, Massive Attack, a bit of Radiohead,
Yeah,
a bit of some Nujabes, and a bit of J Dilla and stuff like that. Not so much J Dilla, but MF Doom.
yeah.
So the same old guys that I was listening to a few years back. But you know, every time I'm too stressed or like, you know, overworked, I go back to like, you know, I don't want to discover
Oh,
anything new. I just want
before,
to go back to what I love.
sorry to like cut you off, but before
Yeah, yeah.
I forget, this is other really cool Bangalore-based band that I heard. They're called Kelvi Kuri, and this band reminds me so much of. Have you guys heard Snarky Puppy? Which is
Sure.
yeah,
Of
which is like
course.
this huge ensemble of like 7 or 8 people, and they just have like
No, it's
this very
yeah.
different influences. And this band also have like, I think they have like 8 or 9 people part of it. Very impressive, and they have jazz, electronic, Carnatic, uh, you know, all kinds of influences packed together. So there's a band that was formed
Interesting.
from Christ College in Bangalore.
Oh.
So
Oh.
so yeah, so there are 8 members still studying, uh, and super interesting, right? So I think they've come out with their single now, Nanguram, and it
You know
was
what it means?
no, I don't. What does it mean?
No, I'm asking you.
No, even I don't. So in case the members of this band end up watching this video,
We would
please,
like to know what it means.
yeah, please let us know what the name means, unless it's already mentioned here in the article which we haven't read. But do check it out. They have very interesting
Ooh,
artwork
that's
also.
interesting art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kelvikuri,
That's a heart inside a brain, dude. That is crazy.
yeah, that's a brain, and then there's a heart. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it took
there.
me a while to figure
Crazy.
that out.
Yeah.
And a womb inside the heart.
Trippy. Yeah.
Okay,
Shit.
sorry, I removed it, but do check it out. We're gonna link that as well. It was a really fun track to listen to, especially when it had so many of these influences. It really adds a dynamic, and you can just listening to the track, like this band is like influenced by a bunch of different music. It just oozes out. So really cool. Kelvikuri, guys and girls, in case you're watching. Uh, give us give us an explanation to what the name of the song means, and we'd love to have any of you all on the podcast also, in case you want to join. So yeah, I've been listening to like these artists, actually whatever I've mentioned this past week, and it's been fun. uh, of I mean, I haven't heard like a lot of like rap music throughout, but I'm slowly kind of looking out for like a lot of these rap influenced albums and artists. So, uh, if there are artists that you want us to check out, or if you want me to listen to, drop it in the comments, drop it in the DMs, or wherever you do find us. We're more than happy to check them out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys. So
All
that
right,
would
yeah,
be it
I think
from our end today.
yeah,
And thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back again next week with more music and lots
more
more
news.
energy and more news. And
Yeah.
hopefully, whatever next is happening on the IPL,
No,
plagiarizing.
no,
Okay, no on that,
not that.
but
But I'd love to
got it.
investigate that like a little more as to like
Yeah, I
what
want to know
happened.
what Music Directors Association of India
Yeah,
does.
that
Apart from
sounds like
obviously
a
handling the
awesome group of people.
sounds like a lobby to me, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So cool.
See you
Thank you
guys
very much.
next
Yeah.
week.
See
And
you.
don't forget to share our podcast
Yes.
and like us.
And
And see you
subscribe.
next week. Yeah, and do all of that and listen to our playlist on Spotify.
Yeah.
Do it, guys.
See you. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, how do I stop this?